Action for real now. Okay.
Okay. My nickname is Pan, like the ancient demigod, and also like Peter Pan.
Okay.
I've had this name since I was a child. I named myself that after reading Greek mythology. He was the god that I associated with the most because he was the god of revelry, running around, and the mountains. I love the outdoors always. So my real name, I don't. The reason why I want to keep it anonymous is because I'm a retired artist, a corporate one. So in the professional art world and all that crap. So I don't want to give my real name away because I don't want that to. Not that I ever gave it away, but we'll stick with Pan.
Okay.
Or Pan. Here, Pan. Originally, I was born in a very small town in southern Illinois in the United States.
Okay.
To me, that's a very philosophical and subjective question. For me, a big boom, personally, is this what you mean?
Yeah.
Is when you complete something, and for me, it's usually a piece of art or like a sculpture with marble.
Okay.
Something that you love, and something that you do. And then after that, you feel inside of you this surge of adrenaline. Yeah, it's like, poof. It's a surge of adrenaline. It's like, I made that. Like, I made that. It's mine. That's my baby. And then you end up selling it, in a gallery. And then you kind of feel like a whore, a corporate whore, in the art world. But, that's a big boom for me is the completion of something that you did yourself and that you love doing. And this could be music, this could be, poetry, and especially art. Once you're done, you have this feeling of it's very spiritual, actually. So that's why I would say it's a big boom. So that's a big boom is when you complete something that you love to do. Passion.
Passion?
Yes.
Okay.
Without passion, I don't know how anybody lives their life. There's an old concept called kleos, and that's what Alexander the Great and Achilles had. Made them want to go off and conquer other. And so it's passion. Without passion, you have nothing.
You do nothing.
You have to have a passion for something, and a lot of people don't. And they get confused, like, what am I supposed to do with my life? I don't know. And it's like, well,
yeah, you have to find the passion.
yeah, but when you find the passion, then you get the big boom too. So it kind of works together. So it's one long journey. You just have to, enjoy the ride. Yes, it's bumpy. Yes, it's crazy, but that's all part of it. So to me, that's what it is. To get married to Luna, I call her Luna.
Yeah.
Settle down, have some children, and just
enjoy.
Yeah, because after retiring, it's just and my mom, she's happy too because she wants me to retire because I did a lot of performance art, hurt my body very badly for the sake of art, whatever. So for me, the only dream I have right now, because I fulfilled so many of them, start a punk rock band with her, have some kids, have some property, make art for free. I'm never going to sell any more art. I'll make it for free, give it away. If someone's a statue, I'll do it for them. There you go, it's for free.
Okay.
That's my dream right now, just to retire.
Okay.
Fortune. Favors. The bold. Yes. I was born a very precocious child. I had my first art exhibition when I was 9 in New York City, so I got out of my hometown very quickly. And I lived in New York City for a long time. I went to a school in Paris, the National School of Fine Arts in Paris, where I was kicked out because all I did was smoke cigarettes and try to pick up prostitutes. Because they were trying to teach me anatomy, and I'm like, look, I'm not 5 anymore, I know anatomy.
Okay.
So they kicked me out of there, and after that I got another. I already had an agent, so I got another agent, and I had a guardian. They give you a guardian because I started to live in New York City as a very young child, so I had packets of homework. So then after that, I started to go over to Paris, Milan, Florence, Rome, Copenhagen, Berlin, Munich, and do all these exhibitions. I met a lot of great artists. I've spent most of my life since I was 9 years old making money as a professional artist.
Hard one.
See, that is such a hard question. What is happiness for me? We get the word happiness from Shakespeare. He would write something happened, which meant it happened. So that's where we get the word happiness, because he would invent words. The people known as Shakespeare, anyway. So, I don't think happiness is something that's supposed to be a long-term emotion. I think it's fleeting, it's ephemeral. It comes and it goes. But for me, happiness is when you know you're at your best. When you know that you've done something that is, you made that boom. Or an artist will ever feel is when you know you did it, and you know that is good to yourself. And it's all about creation for me, and always has been. So I've never known what it's like to not know what I wanted to do in my life. I already know.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm actually envious of people who don't know. I'm like, what does it feel like?
Really?
Because because you can do anything. Like I can do maybe 3 things very, very well. You can maybe do 100 things extremely well. You don't know. So when people say I don't know what to do with my life, I'm like, God, I'm so jealous of that feeling. Because I always knew.
Yeah, because everything is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible. And for me, it's like, well, of course anything is possible for me too, but not in the same way that it is for you. Because right now you feel lost, but actually being lost is one of the greatest feelings ever. So I think being lost can actually propel you to do great things. So happiness for me it goes back to the boom, the creation process and everything. I think once you're happy with something that you've done, and it has to come from within. Happiness is I guess Nietzsche would say, well, no, that's bullshit, but it's yeah, happiness to me is just knowing that you've made an impact.
Okay, so it's more punctual for you. It's
not,
It's not like a...
It's not a long term, no, it's not a long, because that's impossible. And I've never, and they say, happiness is for, idiots. Sorry to leave the,
Okay.
But yeah, and I would love to be a happy idiot sometimes and not know the truth about the world. But I do. I've read enough philosophy that my dad made me read at a very early age. Crap I didn't need to know, but because I never got summers off, and I was always having, I was just, he was always teaching us ancient Greek philosophy, mythology, and...
Okay, so you were...
Yeah, I was kind of, it's not overeducated at all. It was just ridiculous. That's all it was. And I think the question is, does God believe in me? I think that's the most important question. But no, I consider myself a polytheist.
Okay.
So I do believe in the ancient Greek pantheon. The Olympians, of course I do. I actually do. And all the
gods of the Olymp.
Yeah, the gods of the ancient Greece.
Okay.
I believe in them. I do, with everything that I have. I also believe in the Egyptian gods. I believe in the ancient Sumerian, the Mesopotamian gods, and the Hindu gods. All of them. I need as many as I can get. So, I think believing as much as you can and embracing spirituality. I don't believe in organized religion so much, but it's the ancient gods that I do worship and I do believe in. Even though most people are like, I'm like, well, there's no ridiculous in another religion. But spiritually, I'd say, yeah, I'm definitely a polytheist. I do believe in the gods.
Okay.
And I know they believe in me. I think you can have spirituality as long, and this is an old philosophical question, but I think if you, and it's a bit narcissistic too, but you can believe in yourself. And that's first you have to learn how to do that. Most people don't know how to do that. So I think spiritually you need to be one with yourself, and this is a bit Buddhist, but you have to be one with yourself, I believe. Once you do that, then you can do anything that you want. I mean, but first you have to spiritually be one with yourself. And if you can't do that and you have to rely on another God, then that's fine. So for me, first I had to believe in myself before I could believe in something else.
Okay. This was your process?
Yes, it was my process.
Okay.
But it wasn't consciously a process. It was just like I have to, in order to do this, I have to believe in something higher than myself. I have to first believe in myself, because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. So logically, that's how I saw it. And so to this day, you know, a lot of people don't know how to believe in themselves, you know, so they turn to just Christianity, or they don't know, so they turn to, you know, Islam.
So it could be escape.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, or like a crutch, you know,
Okay.
just like this.
Yeah.
It's no different. It's a vice or virtue, but for me, it's like, no, you have to really believe in yourself first. If you don't, then there's no way you have to honor yourself first, and then. But your question was there another way? And the other way is, I'm not sure. Marcus Aurelius, who was he was a Caesar of Rome, and also a philosopher too, a very intelligent man.
Yeah. And
he said, "Do thyself wrong, and you'll be damned." So that comes into play, because you have to first believe in yourself. If you can't do that, and if you wrong yourself, you will hate yourself. And then once you do that, that's when you turn to a religion that you might not even really wholeheartedly believe in. So it's just a fallacy once they say you don't need yourself, just look up. And it's just like, no, believe in yourself first. And so that's the process. Yeah, that's the process. Yeah.
Okay.
Humanity. You know, I think there was a major misstep in the conception of humanity, however they came to be. You know, if you look at the world right now, everything, you know, economically, politically, militarily, you would probably, most people, intelligent people, would surmise that we are headed in definitely a wrong direction. Like we probably won't last another 100 years or so. So, and I actually believe that I think certain organized religions, I'm not going to say which one, but there is just one that I'm thinking of, really set humanity back and also tainted humanity. And so much blood was spilled and so many people died over this concept, this spirituality, that it ruined our chance to actually embrace each other, because all we were doing was killing each other. Same with any religion, whether it's Islam, you know, or it's Judaism, anything. But the main three, being those main three, too many people have died. And so it's also the concept of spirituality that comes into play with what you just asked me. Do you think we're heading in the right direction? Like, well, yeah, right now people have stopped going to church as much as they used to. They stopped, you know, even in very extremely religious countries like Ireland, Italy, like the church attendance ratio it's very low. So I'm not saying that faith is important for humanity, but I don't think that. No, to be honest with you, I don't think we're heading in the right direction. I think we would like to think that we are, but I think from the very beginning, I think we could have been great. We could have been amazing. And sometimes at night I think about how amazing we could have been.
Okay.
And that almost makes me want to weep, because it's like we could have been so much better. We could have been so much better than this.
But you think we can still change, or?
I think we're beyond that point.
Yeah?
I actually believe this, yes.
That it's right now, like?
I think we're doomed. Yeah, I actually do. Especially with the new president of the United States. It's not. Everything has become too, militarized, and it's become too. It's just like the things that we, our technology, even though we think that is great, it puts us further apart from each other. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, name it. All of this, yes, and used in moderation, just like this, it's fine. You overdo it, and yet people just doing this
Yeah.
all the time, just walking. And I've seen it in New York City, and I've seen it all over the world, getting hit by cars almost, and they do this while they're driving. And it's like there's a person right over there sitting on a bench by, all alone. If you put your phone down, or whatever you have in your hand, your iPad, whatever, and go talk to that person, that could be your best friend for the rest of your life. You have no idea, but you're not even trying because you're too busy doing this.
Yeah,
So yeah, to me, I think we're about done, to be honest. Well, I'm not a Workaway.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you this.
Also the whole scene.
Yeah, me and Alex, he knew that I was an artist, and we met through different means, and so. But what I believe about Workaway, I think it's fantastic. I think it's one of the most amazing things because I've met so many great people that now are like, they're like family. You spend enough time together, you live together, you work together, you eat together, and you become family, And then they leave, and you're like. But you're always in contact, and so anywhere in the world right now, if I want to go to Croatia, I can go to Croatia and just sleep on an old friend's couch, And she's like, yeah, sure, come on. Anywhere in the world, Colombia, anywhere in Germany, France, anywhere in the world, just name it. And that's the great thing about work, because you make these connections. And that's the greatest thing, and that is the polar opposite of, I know that still that social media plays a part in all of this. In Workaway, but at the same time, you're making a human connection when you work away. From what I can see and understand, because I'm still friends with every single worker that came through here, even though I never was. And I would always help them if they needed help. Like I'd stop what I was doing and help them. It's fun. I don't mind helping, but I think it's one of the most ingenious things that was ever invented. So I think it will not probably last long. Somebody will definitely come along and shut it down because it's that great, and it's an amazing platform for human connection, which is what we're missing nowadays.
Finally, social media may.
Exactly. So
help,
so that's where social media does, help a little bit, but
Okay.
Human connection. That's what we're missing. Is human connection. We lost that a long time ago. Yeah, I know Alex the most, and he's that's why I call him we call each other Adelphos. Adelphos. And that in Greek that means brother, so, and we've gotten in so many fights over the garden, yelling at each other, not physically, well, physically too, but not real ones. And one day he'll love me, next day he'll hate me, next day he'll be like, oh, Pan, you're amazing. Next day he's like, what's the matter with you? So it's like, actually, it's like having a brother. Like, it's having another brother. And he's like, you're always welcome here, and it's, I'll back you up in anything. And that's good to have, because it's like, it's very rare that you find someone like Alex. Alex is an individual who's almost like sublime and celestial. It's like, you're so, because you talk to him, and he's just, he just, everything to him. He's like, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. And then the next day, he's like, this is a big deal. You listen. You listen. This is an emergency. And he's like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, make up your mind. It's just like, this is like my home. So it's, and he says, yeah, you can stay here. I don't care. That's the thing about Alex. He's so, magnanimous. He's very altruistic. He's like, sure. You're like, I want this to be a utopia, It's just like, well, because he asked me about the conception of what he wanted to do with Workaway. I'm like, well, I don't even know what that is, man. So he's like, we create a utopia, a family, like, everybody's welcome. They want to have a good time, work, eat, sleep, fuck. I don't care. Like, he's like one of the greatest guys, one of the greatest men I've ever met in my entire life. He's very giving. He's, if you need something, he'll say, what do you need? I get. You know, and it's very rare that you find anybody like this in the world. Like he's that cool. So I would say definitely Alex. I'm not just saying this so to kiss his ass. I mean I actually mean he's an amazing person, and sometimes he drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, we get into fights, and the next day we'll be fine. Next day we're in a fight again, and the next day it's just like having like a fucking girlfriend. It's just who's a man and a brother, not so much as yeah. What you have to do is where the saying comes from. You asked me what my one line would be in life.
Mm-hmm.
Fortune favors the bold.
Okay.
Take the chance, man. Just take a chance.
Okay.
Like, even if you die, at least you left your comfort zone. Everywhere in the world should be a comfort zone for you. Look, it's a beautiful world. It is. It is very gorgeous in every aspect. It's majestic. And yet we're so small compared to the universe. But if you just look... So my advice to any beginning traveler is go for it. Don't have any reservations, and no apprehension, no fear. Just go for it. And it'll change your life. I lived in Paris for 2 years.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, so there is no stereotype really for the French. I've met some rude ones. I've met some very, very nice ones. People who've come through here, all the French, they're just amazing. And, you know, they all come from different parts of France. So it's, you know, whether it's Bordeaux, you know, Mimizan, you know, Paris or near Paris, you know, but it's I think they're underestimated. That's what I do think. I think but that's not a stereotype. But I wouldn't really give a stereotype to any culture because that's incorrect. Because every culture has an asshole, and every culture has a kind person. They do exist in every culture, an asshole and a very nice person. So to stereotype, you know, a culture by its country is ridiculous. I know people do it all the time, and it's just like, have you really traveled that much in France that you know everybody there? Because some people are amazing, and some people are just like, okay, whatever, I want nothing to do with you. But for the French, I'd say that they're well, I'm talking about Paris. Mainly, I'd say that they will let you. They're very honest. They'll let you know if they don't like you. It's very much like New York City. They'll let you know. In New York City, if they don't like you, they say, "Hey, fuck you." It's like, okay, well at least I know now. And the same thing in Paris. They'll just do this thing like, it's like, okay, got it. Got it. It's clear. Yeah, at least I'd say the stereotype. Maybe you're very brutally honest people. Okay, I have to say, you know, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Notes from the Underground. Notes from the Underground. And that pretty much was, you know, Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher. Yeah. That was the only man that he never insulted. And this man insulted everybody. Okay. You know, but there's one that I read very recently that everyone should read, and it's called A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole. And it's just because you will laugh out loud when you read it, because the character is so hilarious. And you will laugh out loud. People say, "Oh yeah, I'm you know, laugh out loud like in a text," but no, you will laugh out loud while reading a book. And that's the greatest experience ever. Like when it's that funny in a book, and you're just like, "Oh my god." One of the things that I did do, but I was a child, was painting, which is a dead form anyway. And Michelangelo said this hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He said it's too one-dimensional, and people still do it amazingly and try to make money from it. So I was always more into sculpting, whether it was clay, which then you use the clay and it's casted, so you turn it into bronze. And my favorite, of course, is marble. I love sculpting marble and making statues. And
you already did marble?
Oh yeah, many times. My first time I was about 7 years old, and I actually got to finally work with it and So I just took to it very quickly, and I love marble because it's not cheap. One of my greatest influences, my favorite artist of all time, is Michelangelo.
Okay.
Because now I know he's best known as painting the Sistine Chapel, but he hated painting, and that's the irony in that he hated painting.
And he was famous for that.
But he's famous for painting this stupid fucking cathedral, and he fucked up his back permanently because he would be on like a scaffold lying down for 15 hours a day, up on a ceiling like that, and it really scared him. And so after that interfered with him being able to sculpt. So afterwards, he was kind of broken. Like sometimes I look at people and I wonder more than maybe somebody would wonder, not about their life. I wonder about their life, just like you're doing right now. How many times have they been in love? How many times have they had their heart broken? You know, just things like just weird things. Just because I look at people kind of differently, and I'm just always trying to, I'm just like, what? That's the thing about the corporate art world, is that, trust me, 50% of what you see in a gallery is not made by that artist. It's not.
Really?
Yes. This is a secret that I'll tell you right now. Since I'm retired, okay, 50% of the time you go into an art gallery, probably not made by that artist. Probably made by a friend of his, or another artist who didn't want to use their name. I've never given my real name out as an artist. So I would make things up, like Utis, which is ancient Greek for no one. So there's always a placard outside of, because I do a lot of installations and things like that. And so I would put Utis, which means no one, or I'd put, self-aggrandizing asshole, or clown penis. Just ridiculous. I would do this, and people, but that actually piques their interest. They're like, "Who is this artist? This clown penis? What is that?" So I would actually insult myself and be like, "Pompous asshole." I did a lot of performance art too. I've gotten down to, kilos, but 80 pounds. So I starved myself, and I fasted for 42 days, just drinking water. Which was more.
How many days?
42.
42?
Yeah. I was almost dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can show you a picture. Yeah.
Extreme, 42.
Yeah, that means that I lasted 2 more days in Jesus. I was gonna just stay here, and live on a Greek island, and retire. And Alex was like, "You can't live here." He's like, "You're not a citizen. You can't live here." I'm like, "Fine, then I'll get a boat." So I called this boat company up in Naples in Italy, and I said, "I know that you make this model. Like, I want you to make that model from scratch, and I want this. I want 2 more motors here, and I want black sails instead of white, and all of this." And so it's up there, and I have the Italian crew waiting, and I'm like, not yet, because it's still not done yet. And I keep asking them. I call them every day. I'm like, "What's going on?" It's probably like, because it has to be run. Like, once a boat is made, you have you have to run it.
Yeah.
So
you asked to Paco?
Yeah, I said, if you want to go on the boat, then do it. But I said, you have to, man, if you're not used to sailing, it might not be a good idea, because you have to be used to sailing.
Okay.
All
Thank you very much.
Of course, man.